Hey guys, pardon me. I was just taking a look at GarageBand. Now, when we think of our books, we don't necessarily think of movies, but when we think of retelling that story, we're definitely thinking of the music and the soundtrack that goes with it. You would never want to have words from a song going over you speaking, obviously, and you wouldn't want it to be too loud when you need to hear outside action. So music is a key part when we're making our movies, but we can also make our own soundtracks with great tools like GarageBand. Now, you may not be an expert with it. Who is? But guess what? We have a lot of friends that do have some other ideas that you can do on GarageBand to make your own music and to make the own soundtrack to whatever book or whatever story you're trying to tell in a video. But today you are here for chapters 61 and 62 of David Walliams' Ice Monster. Let's get started. Chapter 61, Open Fire. Good, replied the Admiral. As usual, he hadn't been listening. Titch, when I give the order, fire, I want you to open fire on that barrel. Poor Titch was shaking with nerves. It was clear he didn't want to be put under all this pressure. One by one, the barrels were rolled into the sea. Roll, plop, roll, plop, roll, plop. Soon there were a dozen barrels of gunpowder bobbing around in the water as the British naval fleet approached. Titch, are you ready? Asked the Admiral. The poor private was struggling, trying to ram the gunpowder down the antique musket. One moment, sir. Dotty tried to help by passing him the shot. I can do it, he snapped. Titch, called out the Admiral. Ready, sir. Titch raised the musket. Fire! The private took a deep breath. This was his moment to prove them all wrong, to prove that he could be a hero after all. Trembling, he did something he'd never done before in all his years as a soldier. He pulled the trigger. Click! Nothing happened. Sorry, sir. I'm half-cocked. Fire! Bang! The force of the blast threw Titch off his aim. Instead of the shot firing across the sea towards the barrel, it skimmed over Woolly's head, parting her fur. Woo! Before blasting a huge hole in one of the HMS Victory's sails. You rowdy fool! Raged the Admiral. I'll have you court-martialed for this. I'm useless, said Titch, bowing his head in defeat. Give that musket to me, Private, ordered the Admiral. Let him have another go, pleaded Dotty. Are we at the fun fair? Asked the Brigadier. I had a chance and I blew it, Titch wailed in despair. No, Titch, piped up Elsie. You can do it. I know you can. She turned to the Admiral. Please. The Admiral had a soft spot for the girl. All right, then, he huffed. But there are a dozen barrels and only a dozen cartridges. If he fails, that's it. No pressure, my love. No pressure, my love, added Dotty, somewhat unhelpfully. The Admiral let out a long sigh. Fire at will, Private. Titch loaded the musket and aimed. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and fired. Bang! This shot skimmed across the sea. Kaboom! A barrel of gunpowder exploded. A thick cloud of black smoke appeared. Hurrah! Shouted the old soldiers on the deck of HMS Victory. Hoo! Hooted the Mammoth. You did it, Titch! Yelled Elsie. My hero! Added Dotty. 1 down, 11 to go, said Titch. Fire! Ordered the Admiral. Kaboom! And another kaboom! Another kaboom! 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 3 in a row. Bullseye! Kaboom! Kaboom! Yes! Kaboom! On a roll now! Kaboom! Easy! Kaboom! Final one! Kaboom! Against all the odds, Titch had hit every single barrel. Now there was a huge curtain of black smoke stretching out across the sea. Hurrah! Shouted the soldiers. Whoo! Added Woolly. Chapter 62. Down, but not out. Silence! Ordered the Admiral. Let's listen for their ships." Everyone on board fell silent. Far off, they could hear the sound of horns hooting and engines grinding. Kerring! There was even the sound of metal hitting metal as ships collided. Bash! Bang! Wallop! "Oops," said the Admiral. "We got 'em!" exclaimed Dottie. "Whoo!" shouted Wooly, punching her trunk into the air in triumph. "They're the British naval fleet," began the Admiral. "The best in the world. They're down, but they're not out. The smoke will lift soon. We must act fast. We need to change course if we're going to lose them. Starboard, ho!" All on board went to work to make the ship dramatically change course to the right. Even the Mammoth was getting the hang of sailing now. Using her trunk, she grabbed hold of the wheel, spinning it hard to the right. The ship leaned and the other way so fast that the old soldiers tumbled over. Wooly fell on top of the Admiral. "Woo! Thump! Oof!" cried the Admiral. "Get this giant furball off me!" Elsie smirked as she and all available hands on deck prized the Mammoth off their leader. "Thank goodness I'm not planning on having any more children," muttered the Admiral as he clambered to his foot. He limped over to the stern of the ship. Doof! 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 Next, he took out his telescope and studied the sea behind them. The curtain of smoke was slowly lifting. Elsie sidled up to him, and Wooly followed. The Mammoth was intrigued. She plucked the telescope out of his hands with her trunk. "Swipe! Get off that!" he snapped before snatching it back. He then turned to Elsie. "Please try and control your pet, Mammoth." "I'll try, sir," she replied with a grin. "I can't see any ships," he said. "I think we've done it. My goodness, we've done it." Just then Elsie spotted a shape poking out of the curtain of smoke. "There!" she shouted. The Admiral put the telescope back to his eye. "Blast! One of them has got through." "We can't give up, Admiral," said the girl. "Never! Now listen up, men, and, woman, and, of course, girl," began the Admiral. "Whoo!" added Wooly, not wanting to be left out. Yes, apologies," replied the Admiral, rolling his eye. "And listen up, Mammoth. One of the ships has got through." "Oh, no!" came a chorus of replies. "We have to prepare for the worst. In less than an hour they will have reached us. We must be ready to be boarded. Man and, woman, and of course, girl." "Whoo!" Wooly reminded him. "And who can forget Mammoth? We have no more shot. The gunpowder is gone. But you must arm yourselves with whatever you can lay your hands on." "Yes, sir," came a chorus of replies. "Good luck, men, and everyone else not contained in that umbrella term." Immediately, the deck of the HMS Victory was a hive of activity as all on board went about arming themselves. There weren't enough cutlasses to go around, so most of the soldiers picked up brooms and mops. Slowly but surely, the British naval ship that was still pursuing them came into focus. She was the mighty HMS Argonaut. With 4 huge funnels pumping smoke from its coal engine, the Argonaut was powering through the waves right towards the Victory. With their makeshift weapons in their hands, the old soldiers were ready for the worst. The Admiral approached Elsie. "You are but a child. I think it best you go below deck." "Are you kidding me?" replied the girl, reaching for a long wooden sail batten. "I wouldn't miss this for the world." "We'll make a sailor of you yet," said the Admiral. He took off his wooden leg and brandished it, ready to do battle. Forgetting he couldn't stand up on one leg, he wobbled for a moment before hitting the deck. Thump! That does it for chapters 61 and 62 from David Walliams' Ice Monster. You know what's next. We do this every week, right? Let's do it the first time. Are you ready? All right. You will be answering each and every question with... Not as good as usual, but I'll take it. Complete sentences. Now remember, we are answering them in front of you as a class. We're calling on you, you're answering them, you're saying exactly how to answer it, but then when you go to type it, you're not doing what you're supposed to. Some of you are doing amazing. Some of you are just quickly putting no, 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 or I don't know. Go back and listen. If you missed it, go back and listen. You can do this. You're smart, you're courageous, and you're brave. Let's have a great rest of our day. Remember to click submit, and if you get a chance, maybe we can find some time where you can play with some GarageBand, see what you can create. Have a great day, guys.